announced that she will be returning to the city for a benefit concert this Sunday. A source telling CNN that Miley Cyrus, Katy Perry, and Coldplay, they will also be taking the stage with her to honor the victims. We'll have much more on that as we get it. But let's return now to our lead story of the day. Former intelligence officials and a congressional source telling CNN that Russian government officials discussed having potentially derogatory information about Donald Trump and some of his top aides during the campaign. So did they have damaging information, or was this just part of a larger disinformation campaign in 2016? With me now, Republican consultant Barry Bennett, who also worked with the Trump campaign, CNN political contributor and former Democratic mayor of Philadelphia, Michael Nutter, is here, and CNN political commentator and former communications director for Senator Ted Cruz, Amanda Carpenter. Hi, friends. Great to see you all. So, Barry, on this derogatory information, it could have been financial related, it could have been otherwise. Also, the new spotlight on Jared Kushner. You see this reporting, and you think what, Barry?
Well, one, I think that, the campaign was so small it could barely collude with itself to begin with. So I don't, there's nothing there. But these leaks from intelligence officials, they should alarm everybody. I mean, if the CIA could find a man in a cave or halfway around the world in the dark, but they can't seem to find who's calling the Washington Post, that's a little alarming. And, I think the investigators, Bob Mueller's got subpoena power. He can do whatever he wants, and he should get to the bottom of all this. But these leaks are getting a little scary.
Mayor, I have a feeling you see it a little differently.
Barry, it was cute with the now that's the stupidity defense. That the campaign was now incompetent and couldn't collude with itself.
That's not exactly
cute,
what I said.
But nowhere near true. It is what you said. This is all very
I don't think I use those words, Mayor.
And of course,
once again,
let me get at least 5 seconds.
Yeah, go ahead and slander, then we'll go on.
Mayor, go ahead, please.
So now we have information because the Russians, of course, we surveil them. They probably surveil us as well. But nonetheless, this information is critical. I understand folks want to deflect and talk about leakers. We wouldn't know about Michael Flynn. He'd probably still be National Security Director, but for some damaging information coming out. I think that was from the Washington Post. So all of this is really about the truth. Starting at the top, Donald Trump needs to tell the truth. Jared Kushner needs to tell the truth. Manafort, Flynn, Carter Page, the whole group. Everyone needs to come up with the true story about all of this stuff, and then we can stop the speculation.
And that is what Bob Mueller has the biggest job in Washington and beyond right now, because it's all going to land on him on this. Barry, I got to ask you real quick. Corey Lewandowski, he's been seen at the White House. Rumors are that he's maybe put in charge of a war room of sorts that they're working on in response to all of this. Post-election, you started a consulting firm with Corey. Is he the right man to go in there and right this ship?
Well, I don't think you'll find anybody more loyal to the president than Corey. Corey's a good friend, and I know that he is immensely loyal to the president, and the president trusts him. And so I think that would be good for the president.
You think he doesn't have that loyalty and trust around him now?
Well, I don't know that the president trusts everybody around him now, which is kind of alarming to me. So I think, those people that he doesn't trust, he needs to replace with people he does, because this is a recipe for disaster.
Amanda, the president had something to say about the Kushner back channel ask this morning, retweeting a Fox News report that said that Kushner didn't suggest that Russian communications channel in a meeting. Source says. Now, this is also the very same president, Amanda, you'll remember, that has said this in the past in tweets, and we'll put them up on the stage. Whenever you see the word sources say in the fake news media and they don't mention names, it is very possible that these sources don't exist, but they are made up by fake news writers. Your take on this? When do we believe the sources and when do we not? I say facetiously.
Here's the thing. Donald Trump needs more than a blonde item on FoxNews.com to support his case, especially when it comes to Jared Kushner. Here's what's going on right now. The FBI is we're not having a big investigation about collusion. There are investigations going on about Russian influence over the elections. And the question is, were Trump associates, witting or unwitting, essentially in a vulnerable position for Russians to take advantage of? That is the question we need to look at. And all these reports, sources named, sources unnamed, get back to the question of A, Russians, B, secret meetings, and C, money. Those are the three things: Russians, secret meetings, and the money that was exchanged that was previously undisclosed, whether it's speaking fees, whether it's talking with bankers. That's what is swirling around right now. And the Trump administration has offered no reasonable explanation other than this is a witch hunt, don't ask questions. They're going to have to do a lot better than that. They have no story. They have no narrative to explain why they had so many contacts with the Russians that they did not disclose to the public, that to date has now resulted in the firing of 3 people investigating the situation and the recusal of Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Those are really big deals.
Barry, on the most basic level, though, the president very clearly in just a couple days, he wants to have it both ways. Don't trust sources, but trust my sources. I mean, that doesn't work, friend.
No, it doesn't, but the problem is that the media is guilty of this, just as like both political parties are. We all believe the source that tends to lead to our narrative, right?
Well,
I don't trust any
wouldn't.
of these
That's
sources.
the
If you want to
point.
go on camera and say something, that's fine. But all these sources from the intelligence community, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. I think
Then
it's
let's
disgusting.
have the president say something. Then have
And
the
that is-
president say something. He
Well,
can
I think-
clear all of this
right.
up
Hey,
if he would
and
stop
that's why Mueller
tweeting
was
and
appointed.
start
Let's
speaking.
go get the details. Let's go get the details. But there is nothing there.
Well, how can you say there's
You keep
nothing
thinking that.
there when people have resigned? How come there's nothing there when Jeff Sessions
Right.
had to recuse himself? Why were 3
Jeff
people
Sessions had to
investigating
recuse
this
himself
situation
because the
fired?
media
And
made
I
a
will
big
not say there's
deal
something there. I think everybody
of the
should go look at
ambassador
the
of Russia coming into his Senate
did
office
with
for a
Anderson
meeting.
Cooper, where
Well,
she
here's the
suggested
thing,
that there's a criminal
No.
statute at
Hold
play.
on, hold on.
No.
Need to look at that interview again.
Because
Both, everyone is a little bit right and a little bit talking over each other. There is no evidence
Sorry.
at this very moment. No, I love you all. There's no evidence right now of collusion. There is no hard evidence, and that is, of course, what Republicans and people loyal to the president can hang their hat on. But as the mayor and as Amanda pointing out, other folks that do not trust the president, they see this is not a party that is acting like they are innocent, and that is what I hear over and over again. Why does the president not just come out and say Jared Kushner didn't do this? I didn't instruct him to do this, rather than retweet a source from Fox News. I'm going to change directions, though. Follow me now, because this is also important news. Mayor, you get this one. The president, it's all about the tweets today, apparently. Tweeting again this morning, more criticism of Germany. The tweet that he had talked about a massive trade deficit with Germany, saying that it's very bad for the United States and saying this will change. We have heard this before from the president, but this all comes in kind of a new context. You've got the German chancellor speaking out and reiterating her tough language against the United States today, basically saying the U.S. can't be trusted anymore. Is this a headline that you would want as an American coming on the heels of this first foreign trip?
No, it's pretty disgraceful, and I have to commend the chancellor for speaking her mind. Remember, it appears Donald Trump is intimidated by strong, powerful women. He refused to shake her hand in a White House visit. She spoke her mind, and now he's all flipped out today on Twitter. He did not demonstrate leadership in many instances on this 9-day trip. Thought he was getting away from controversy in the United States. It only increased. And the chancellor is putting it out there to Europe as to what the current state of condition is as it relates to the United States of America. It's embarrassing as an American that the president goes abroad and leaves with many international leaders wondering what in the world is going on in the United States and what's with this guy.
Very final word.
I don't think too many leaders in Europe didn't know where the president was. They might not have liked it, but I don't think they didn't know. And I hardly think that it's embarrassing when countries like Germany, who benefit greatly from our participation in NATO and our bases there, and they don't even cough up their own 2% to join NATO. So, I mean, yeah, the free ride is over.
Really, that's what this is
Well,
about.
also important to note when we talk about politics, the chancellor is also in the middle of a political campaign as well. So let's just add that all into the mix, guys. Great to see you all. Thank you. Coming up, scuffle at the State House. Lawmakers in Texas now trading assault accusations after this scene broke out on the State House floor. Details, if you want them.